friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. Well, I just now thought about talking about this little radio we have because I bought this about 6 years ago before I even had my channel, and we've rarely had to use it, but it's a great little emergency radio. And the reason I thought of it was because I had to finally pull it out for the first time. I was trying to see if I can find some information on how long the phone and internet outages were going to go on for, because I just finished a video that I wanted to get uploaded and was hoping I could get it uploaded so it could publish on the day I wanted it to. So I remembered I had this and pulled it out, and getting to look at it all over again reminded me how cool this thing was. So I thought I would do a little video on this, because having some sort of way to reach the outside world in a grid down situation is important. Now, I did mention in a this and that video fairly recently about the need for some backup sources of communication outside of cell phones and even landlines. And so we have some handheld ham radios and have been meaning to get a base station for it for years. And it's one of those things we just keep meaning to get back into researching. We start to look into it, and then we think, oh, maybe we'll wait and look around some more. And then we forget about it until something happens like this that we need it. So yesterday, as of the day I'm shooting this video, we had and this has happened at least twice now. And somehow I'm thinking that CenturyLink, which is I think now called Lumen as of last year, and Verizon have to be linked. We don't have an account with Verizon, but we're with Straight Talk, which works off the Verizon towers. I've noticed at least on a couple occasions when the internet has gone down, the phones have gone down too. Now, it's commonplace around here for power outages to happen, for internet to go down for a day, for the phones to go down for a day. This happens a lot. But as I said, at least twice now, we've lost both our internet and phone, and really had no other way to communicate with people. Now, we do have a CB radios as well, and we live in a small enough town. If we really need to find something out, we can just walk to our neighbors or drive over to our family's house and talk to them. But still, it reminds us again, whenever these things happen, what's still missing in our preps. And so that's something we still got to get on, and we still have to decide what base station we want and what we think is going to be best for us, and so on and so forth. And yes, we know about ham radio license. We don't have one yet. We will probably get to doing that whenever we remember to finally get the base station. But I know you can do it. You can get one that costs you nothing, at least here in Washington State. If you do, I forget what it's called, anyway, there's a lower one that you can do for free, and I think it is, or it's a very limited, low cost, and that can just get you to where at least you can use it if you really need it. And Zach over at American Homestead, I know, did that a while back. So if you want more information on that, you can go check out his channel and just do a search where he talks about that, or even ask him and he can direct you to the video. But anyway, so at least having some kind of good emergency radio on hand is important. Now, we have this cheap little battery operated radio somehow we ended up with for free, but it's nothing compared to what this is. Now, I believe I paid $50 for it, and when I just looked, and this was 6 years ago, I paid $49, and it's gone up a whole $1 since, which is surprising because the way everything else is jumping up in price, I'm surprised it hasn't done that yet anyway, at least as of the time I'm shooting this video. You might be wondering, well, what makes a small radio like that worth that much money? Because anymore you can buy just a little small radio for, a few dollars. But, again, this is an emergency radio. It's set up with many great features that I had forgotten about. So one of the features is that it does have a rechargeable battery pack in it. And one way that you can recharge it is by hand cranking it, which can get very tiring, but that's one way. And then you also have this solar panel back here, which you can just set it in the sun like that, or it has different settings. You can adjust it. You can have it go straight up. You can have it go completely horizontal like that, or even somewhere in between so that you can catch the sun. This is obviously going to be the easiest way, as long as you have sun to charge it with. But if it's dark and you need this charged up, you can always do the hand crank option. And I like the way the handle fits tight, snugly back in here like this, so it's not sticking out in any way. This has AM and FM, and then it also has 2 shortwave settings on it. So it has SW1 and SW2, and then it also has 7 preset weather band stations right here so that you can get NOAA updates as well. Besides the power options I mentioned about the solar and the crank, you also can put in regular batteries too. So you can see right here, I have 3 AA batteries in there. So you can run it off of batteries like this, and they can be the kind that you can recharge too. You can get the rechargeable AA's and put them in there. And then here's the battery pack that it comes with. And apparently, what it said on the website, I haven't tried it yet, it can actually run, if you were to take the rechargeable battery out and you had direct solar on this, it could run off of that solar power without the need of that little green battery pack that came with it. And you could probably do the same thing with the crank, but you'd have to keep cranking it in that case. And then back here, you have a USB, a mini USB, and some other settings here that you can also charge up your phones and other electronic devices. Obviously, this is going to need to be charged up first, but when you go to do that, there's a little tiny switch right here, right there, and you have to make sure that is on, in the on position, and then you also have to make sure that this is on in some way. Whoops, that's not the on, this one here. So you got to have that on, otherwise it's not going to charge. So this has to be on, and then that little switch back here, both have to be on in order to charge anything through that, just so you know, because I had to fiddle around with it for a while to figure out, oh, that's how it works, because I don't know whatever happened to the instructions to this. I'm sure they're somewhere, but it's been a long time. So anyway, and then the other thing is from here, this little power knob here, this is obviously off. When you go to here, this is choosing to run off the AA batteries you put in there. And then if you turn it to the center setting, it will run off the solar or the crank. And then there's one more setting over here where it will, you can get NOAA alerts by setting it on that. So pretty handy that way. And wait, but there's more. So the other thing I had totally forgot about was that it also has a flashlight, which a lot of your radios will. And then it has your flashing emergency light like that. And then this setting here is for like a reading light right here, or just any kind of light that you need that for. And anyway, pretty handy. So I think it's pretty worth the cost. Now I can't compare this to any other radios because this is the only emergency type of radio we've ever bought. But I'm pretty happy with it, and it's very handy to have. And of course you have your antenna if you need to get better reception that way. And I'm sure there's probably some other features I'm forgetting. But obviously you got your volume control, and then of course you can manually tune it however you want. And then apparently there's one with the digital settings on it. I tend to go with manual because digital is more apt to have problems than your manual. Digital things, you know, if I could do everything more manual, I would probably do that and avoid digital as much as possible. But it is kind of hard to find more manual stuff. I just think manual is going to be more reliable when it comes to things like this. So anyway, the other cool thing about this is, you know, I chose red because it's one of my favorite colors, but green is also one of my favorite colors. So I had a hard time choosing because this also comes in green, but it also comes in yellow. And then if you want something even more subdued, you can just go with the solid black. So you get a few different color options if red is not your thing. And of course you have a nice little carry handle here with a rubber grip. And then this is a strap of sorts, so you could probably you could adjust the length of this and probably even strap it to something however you wanted to do that, backpack or whatever. And it's fairly lightweight. I mean, it's not super lightweight for the size. I mean, you got to consider it's got all these batteries in here and a solar panel and so on and so forth. But really, it's a pretty lightweight thing. I mostly got it for around here, but because of the other features on this, this would also be good to have in your vehicle, you know, to go with maybe your go bags or something. So it is possible I may even consider getting another one to keep in the rigs, while this one again was mostly meant for here at home for just such an event when it's like, okay, I can't get on the internet to find out what's going on and why the phones are down, and I can't get on my phone and find out why the internet is down. So, you know, having something where I can at least try to find a radio station that might tell me what's going on out there, and that's pretty handy. So anyway, just an idea, something you might want to consider for your preps, whether it be this one, which I will put the link to down below, but you can all do some shopping around, because maybe this particular one isn't ideal for you. Maybe you'll find one that you like better, that suits your needs a little bit better. Just make sure you check all the reviews and compare the different features. Maybe you want something that's a little more lightweight. Maybe you don't need the light features and stuff like that on it. So, you know, that's what this is all about. And again, remember, communications are going to be important. So having some sort of backup, you know, that's one area where we're definitely lax on, because we just keep forgetting. At least we have the handhelds and a CB radio, but we do still need something a little bit more robust so that we can reach farther distances if needed. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you an idea of something you might need to add to your preps to just, you know, keep building it and getting yourself in a better situation, whatever may happen. Just like what happened yesterday, not a huge deal, but it is still nice having some form of backup communication, or at least of being able to stay updated on what's happening. And if you have any ideas and suggestions you'd like to put down below, especially if it comes to ham radios, if you have a ham radio and you have a good base station you would like to recommend to us, go ahead and put that down below, because that's one of the things we're still on the hunt for, and we need to get more serious about it again. All right, well, thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.